Hello, everybody, and welcome to another stream. In today's streaming episode, I am going to be looking at how to set up and do colliders. Because a while ago, I released the new River class model, and I didn't really do much more with it. I just basically put the model in and gave it a quick setup, and that was it. But in terms of actual collider like all its colliders and everything, what it's currently using, if I bring this over, by default, if you leave this section here in your Vetu INI, the asset bundles, it will continue using that for your colliders. So right now, so long as I've got asset bundle mesh hole colliders all set up, it is looking at the USN DD Gehring Fram 2 collider hole, and then it is pulling all of that information in here. Primarily the mesh collider section. That's where it's really getting all the information. Everything here, everything in the collider section is something that you can define yourself as a box or a sphere. Just down in this spot, and it's pretty much like setting up any like submodel. But the instead of having like a mesh submodel that you're trying to call from an OBJ file, it's essentially it's got like a resource of basic shapes that it's pulling from Unity itself. And that can be box or sphere, and yeah. And doing it that way, not too bad. You need to go and get all your position coordinates and everything though. And you can then, after you do that, you can then go into your F10 menu, go to Tools, and you can click on like Hide Colliders. And right now, this has got all the colliders from the Gehring Fram 2 just showing on the screen with its twin 5-inch turrets and their magazines. And yeah, we can see like back here a few other little bits as well. So, I don't really want these. Like, I would like to go and like set these up more properly. They're kind of there at the moment because it like these colliders, they're not attached to anything in the systems, so they really don't do much at the moment. The main thing that's happening is it's got a hitbox, and it can interact with other objects. So, uh, so in order for it to like interact with other objects, it's looking for this kinematic equals true line on that. And at the present, these were all copies from the Daring, but they're not. There's nothing in the OBJ file for it to find any information from. So, how do I test all this? Well, gunfire is the best way. So if I go and close that up, bring up this, and let's bring our guns online, and we can see, yep, weapons are hitting shit. And that's just hitting the that asset bundle collider at the moment. Oh, let's just respawn that for a minute. So to prove that, go back in here, and I'll go back up to this point, and I'm just going to disable this line. Now, we can do both as. There you go, I've disabled all of them. So it's obviously not pulling from just that one point. Huh, that is interesting. Okay, let's reset that. And you stop trying to run away. Yeah, at this point, I'm not sure what it is actually pulling collider information from. So let's just disable the entire collider thing. This is how you know you got problems with your colliders. So all I'm doing is just going through a list and seeing what changes. Okay. Something in there was very important to it. Huh. Okay. So everything is back on again, but I've turned off this one here. Let's find out what that is actually attached to. Nothing, it's just attached to that. Hmm. Okay. Well, in the Daring files, I don't have that set up. These are all custom with colliders and a few other bits for the Daring. And if we go into, when I go into Blender, where's my other file? There it is. Bring it up here. We've got all of our all of our little parts here set up for our colliders. So we are just going to do something like that today. So let's go and make a cube, and let's just shrink it down. All our shapes have to be convex. They cannot be anything super complicated. And you have about a 256 poly limit. It's also important to triangulate to trizz your surfaces once you're done. Okay, so just do that, and let's just give it 2 subdivisions just so I can adjust this pedal section. Bring that in, and let's bring that in. Let's just get a bit of just a little bit of shape here. And some length. Okay, so for the purposes of everything, that should do. I can bring that forward a little bit more. Shrink that one a little bit more. And that should do for the whole. So call that one the whole coal. We're gonna make this an 8-sided sphere just for the hell of it. Shrink her down. This is going to be the collider for the gun. The gun is roughly here. There's that. Then we go back here. CCAT is located there. And that's where the Akara launcher is. And we'll do one more just go in that fire control, and one to go here in the radar. Okay, So this one can be called FCR. Cool. Radar. Cool. Seacat Coal. And Ikara. Coal. Okay, and then the other things I want to do. So we're going to get another cube. And let's get a little bit more shape going here. This is just for the structure. I won't worry too much about doing every nook and cranny of this ship, making sure it's got a hitbox for everything. Okay, that should do for that. Okay, now let's just go and get this back into the game. Do that. Turn that back on. Actually, I need to make duplicate that one for a minute. Something I need to get around to doing is I need to expand my storage. Currently, something I've learned is that like these files here, like the substance painted files, because they're raw files that are decompressed, like this one here is 96 meg. But then when you go and check the actual like, texture files, when you export it, it goes down to only 4.4. So just having all of those different layers and everything like that going on, multiple layers of color and spec and all that stuff going on, and it adds up real quick. And of course you got the auto saves and everything going on as well. Okay, anyway, so that's all in now. So we don't need to worry about that. So in here, because I got all my stuff there now, I can set these up. So they're not too bad to do. So I'll just copy that one for a minute. And then all that's going to get deleted soon. So this one's going to be it will be the main collider. So that's fine. And let's go copy that. That one's going to be that. We don't want that. You don't want these having exactly the same names either. You want to try to vary some, like keep a difference. But I will pull this one, structure 1. Uh, these ones are hard to test though, because all shots go for center mass. They don't really go for subparts too often, which is somewhat annoying. So we've got radar, CCAT, and it was Akara. Copy that. Do you want that one? This. And what did I just do? CCAT next. CCAT, and last of all, is the turret. Okay. Turret. Okay. So I will be just deleting all those, but just so everything's in front of me. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These, I don't really need them anymore. I can delete all that. They can stay there for a minute. And okay, so Alright, let's go through. So we need one for the search radar, which is here. And you're gonna be this one. And this one's fire control. Which I've not added in. Thought I did. Go back down here for a second. Let's quickly add that. Let's get back up here. Okay, where were we again? So fire control is this one, which currently doesn't have a collider associated with it. Do that. And then this one. You can get that. CCAT. Kara. Torpedoes. I'm not gonna stress. Magazines. I don't have colliders set up for them yet. Oh, okay, so I won't stress about these for the moment. I will. Yeah, I'll just go and tag him out for the moment. I can just fix those up a little bit later. Save that. Respawn you. Look, it's not spazzing out. That's a miracle. And if we go into here, let's just check things. I'll bring up the log. I'll bring that over here for the moment. I'm gonna go all the way down. Now, let's have a look. So, System 3 is showing it's got an error with the collider. And, okay, so I got issues with, texture issues with the Akara. Huh. I'll go and check them in a second. System 3 expects a collider, FCR call. Oh, silly me. That was 8. Needed to be brought up to a 9. Alright, that will clear that one, and then apparently there is a texture issue with the Ikara system. Okay, not that one. I will go and have a look. It should be just defaulting. But I don't know why. So let's just grab this. Oh, that's what's causing the error. That just having that resource line. But by default, if the shader's not defined, we'll just use this. Okay, well that's an easy fix. So that's done. What else was in errors? These are fine. This is just CLifter spots this and fixes it, and then you can see it goes and loads a bunch of shit. Loads a bunch of stuff. Loads, and it's saying there's a problem with the C cat. No? And we are missing a sensor. Okay. Alright, I'll check that. Do I have it in here? Whoops. Control F. Okay. Is it in the original file? Sensors. Alrighty. So it's not in that. What is it? A whole sonar. Okay. The only other spot it could be is in here. Okay. Let's thought I had it, but apparently I don't. Do I have it in my sensors on here? Or is that the default? Bug fixing is... Okay, it is a default. Well, let's just change that to that, just to clear that error. And it's also saying that the whole number is duplicated. Where are we duplicated? We are duplicated in general. Okay. watch that. Let's go check the log again. There we go. Cleared it. Okay, so that's all those errors cleared up. Now for the fun part. Okay, so that's taking damage like normal, and then let's also respawn. That works. And look, we can even see it goes over the top, which lines up there, and over on the daring, we could see a little sliver, which kind of works. Alrighty, so we've got those errors cleared. Now, let's go. And what's something that's got missiles? They're not in fleets that are not trying to defend each other. I went right through it. Gets into mass, but then that one went through again. That went through. Let's check damage control. Damage. Ah, awesome. The custom ones, custom colliders are working. They're showing that the Beauforts got destroyed. And a few other little random parts are destroyed as well. So let's check this a bit better. Where is my river? There. Want you in? Um, that is weird. I can't bring up them. Oh, never mind. Let's get you going that way. Let's reload you. The cat fired way too late. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah, shots are passing through, so there's something in the middle here that it is connecting with, and it's only in the middle. And unfortunately, it's not easy to check. Looks like it's just hitting this box. Okay. Alright, I think I know how to fix this. Let's reset the fleet. And is that the daring? No. There we go, there's daring. Let's do this. Put that over. There we go. And close all those. Go back into here. And there are all the structures. What is hole 1, 2? They don't even exist. Well, we just copied this one in. So we want that one. Okay. I want you. Okay, gunfire is working nicely. Respawn the Tycho. There we go. They're actually hitting on this thing properly now. Whereas before, like as we saw, it was passing through the fronts and backs. And it was only hitting the middle because of the magazine collider. Let's check your damage. Sensors, we got medium damage. Destroy, good, so, cool. Alright, so, I believe that pretty much concludes everything in terms of how to do all the colliders and everything. Um, they're not too complicated. They can be a little bit fun to go and set up from time to time. It's just the nature of it all. And we did do a bit of bug hunting as well to go and make sure that things were loading incorrectly. And we can do that again by simply, let's grab the right folder. There we go. And I can just easily check. Clicking on the session log, bring it in here, and we've refreshed everything a few times. So there is a weird error with the daring, which is this one. And that's not giving me any information as to what's causing it. It's apparently like a dupe going on. Something in here is duplicated. And like none of these names are duplicated. They're all individual names. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what's causing that error to come up. The only thing I can think of is maybe it's from this, which I can disable because none of that's getting used up anymore. Respawn the ship. Magic. Go back to log. Refresh the load log. Nah, still there. So I'm not sure as to what's causing that error. There's something that says it's duplicated, and I don't know. Or it's trying to say something is using one of these twice. But yeah, I don't know. Excuse me. Actually, there is a way to check. So, kind of way to check. Let me bring this up, and let's go and get daring up again, just so we can have everything sort of side by side. We'll go down to our list. That's our list. So one of these up top, we have one on the other end, and let's check this one. Cool. Check you. That one's fine. These should be fine. Maybe it stays. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, it's the engine room that was in the middle. Yeah, I can't answer what's causing this. I have put in a request with the devs, to see if we can get a little bit more information in the log so I can actually track down what's causing this. So I'm not 100% sure, but hopefully it won't be too bad. And something that's interesting is that when we look at the log, okay, so the river class is using parts from the Daring. Like it's collecting like the turret and all these little parts. All these little parts are all a common part that the Daring originally has. So they're sort of like a modular part kit. And if I do a respawn on this, and then we go and reload the log, go down here, you can see it's loading all of Daring stuff multiple times. So I might need to look at separating those common parts and having them set up in a different way. So we're not loading like a whole string all the time. But yeah, I'll have a think about that one. Anyways, well, I hope you guys, hopefully this is all, useful information for everybody. And I hope you enjoy. Goodbye.